So much time has passed. I deeply regret the choices I made back then. I wish I could change it. I'm 97 years old, and I didn't start seeing my life clearly until I had to sign papers about how I want to die. Yeah, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say out loud. A young nurse slid the forms across the table and pointed to little boxes like we were picking items off a menu. CPR, yes or no. Breathing tube, yes or no. Who gets called? Who decides if I can't? And my hand shook when I tried to hold the pen. Not from fear exactly, more like the weight of it. Because once you're signing those papers, you can't pretend anymore. This isn't someday, this is now. And the strange part is, once pretending stops, everything gets sharp. Like someone cleaned a foggy window in your mind, and suddenly you can see what was always there. My name is Leonard. Most people called me Len back when people still had reasons to call. I'm not telling you this because my life was special. It wasn't. No big scandals, no dramatic speeches, no movie stuff. Just years. Just a man who kept telling himself he had time. And then one day, time stopped negotiating. They tell me my heart is tired. That's the polite way to say my body is running out of push. I get breathless sitting up. Nights feel heavy. And when doctors start using the word comfort, you realize everyone in the room already knows what direction this goes. So when I look back now from this bed, I don't see promotions. I don't see money. I don't see being respected. I see moments. I see my wife standing at the sink, sleeves rolled up, talking to me, waiting for my eyes to lift off the newspaper. I see my son at the front door with a backpack, pausing like he wanted me to say something important. And I see myself over and over saying the most dangerous phrase a person can say, in a minute. Her name was Evelyn. And no, she wasn't perfect. She could be stubborn. She could get sharp when she felt ignored. She hated wasting food like it was a sin. And when she was hurt, she got quiet. The kind of quiet that makes a room feel colder. But Evelyn loved in details, in remembering, in staying. We met in 1950 at a family picnic I didn't even want to attend. I wanted to stay home and read and feel grown. Evelyn was sitting on a porch step with a paper plate on her lap, eating potato salad like she was actually hungry, not trying to look cute. She looked up at me and said, "You're late." I said, "Am I?" She said, "Yes, people have been eating for 20 minutes. That was Evelyn, straight to it, no fluff. Later, as I walked her to her car, she said, "You don't talk much." I said, "I listen." She tilted her head and said, "Listening is fine, but don't make me guess all the time." I laughed like she was teasing. She wasn't teasing. We married. We bought a small house, narrow kitchen, weeds in the yard. Evelyn planted tomatoes anyway. She said weeds were just plants with bad publicity. I worked at the county offices and kept climbing. Clerk, supervisor, deputy director. I wore ties when it was too hot, shook hands, stayed late, learned how to look confident when I wasn't. We had 2 kids, Michael and Diane, and from the outside it looked like a good life. Inside, there were little gaps that I didn't notice because I didn't want to. Evenings I'd come home and Evelyn would start telling me the day. Teacher calls, bills, shoes that didn't fit, something funny the kids said. And I'd nod while my body walked toward the living room like it was on a track. Newspaper, quiet, rest. Evelyn would stand in the doorway and say, "Len, I'm talking to you." And I'd say, "I'm listening," but I wouldn't look up. And that's how it starts, not with yelling, with eyes that don't lift. I missed Diane's school play once. I told myself it wasn't a big deal. It's just a play. But I still see Diane later that night, hair sprayed, glitter on her cheeks, asking, "Dad, did you have to work?" And me saying, "Yeah, honey, I'm sorry." And her saying, "Okay." That okay wasn't forgiveness. It was a child learning not to expect. I missed Michael's last Little League game because I had to go to a dinner with people I didn't even like, but I wanted to be in good standing. I ate rubber chicken and laughed at jokes that weren't funny. Evelyn took pictures at the field without me. She didn't yell. She didn't punish me. She just put the photos in an album like evidence. And Evelyn, she tried. She really tried. She'd ask me to take a walk after dinner. She'd ask me to sit with her while she folded laundry just to talk. She'd ask me to come outside and cool off on the porch. And I'd keep saying, "Not tonight," or "In a minute." Then one night, when we were older, kids grown, house quiet in a strange way, Evelyn made dinner like it mattered, even though it was only the two of us. Halfway through, she said, "Do you ever wonder who we would have been if we weren't always busy?" I didn't know how to answer, so I did what I always did. I made it practical. "We did what we had to," I said. Evelyn put her fork down and looked at me. "You still think you're going to get around to living," she said. I got defensive. "We're okay," I said. "We've got a house. The kids are grown." Evelyn nodded slowly, not angry, just seeing. "Okay isn't what I wanted," she said, and she picked up her fork again. No drama. Just a woman swallowing disappointment like a pill. And I let the moment pass, because letting moments pass was my specialty. Then death showed his face, through my own body first. I had a mild stroke at 76. Ambulance, bright lights, all of it. Evelyn showed up at the hospital with her coat half buttoned and her hair a mess, and she grabbed my hand like she was holding me to the earth. The doctor said, "Lucky, manageable, meds," and I promised I would change, slow down, be present, take Evelyn on a trip. Evelyn listened and said something that still rings in my head. "Don't promise because you're scared. Mean it on a Tuesday." For a while, I did better. I retired. I cooked breakfast sometimes. I sat on the porch. I tried to show up in the ordinary. But clarity has cruel timing. Evelyn got cancer at 82. Pancreas. Too late by the time we knew. She didn't want to spend her last months in waiting rooms. "I want my own curtains," she said. So we did hospice at home. And that's when I learned what love looks like when all the extra stuff falls away. It's not speeches, it's water, pill schedules, clean sheets, holding someone steady when they're embarrassed. One evening, near the end, Evelyn was surprisingly clear. I sat beside her and held her hand. I said, "I'm here." Evelyn squeezed once and whispered, "I know." Then she added, soft, plain, not cruel, "You finally are." She died 2 days later, and after the funeral, people said the usual things. Then they went back to their lives. I walked into our kitchen and saw her handwriting on a little note inside the cabinet, "Coffee filters." And I understood something that hurt more than grief. A life isn't made of big events. It's made of small moments you either enter or you miss. Now I'm 97, signing those end-of-life papers, and facing death didn't make me brave. It just removed my favorite lie. No more later. No more when things calm down. No more in a minute. So, if you're watching this and someone in your life is still here, still warm, still reachable, don't wait for the perfect moment to be present. Put the phone down. Turn your body toward them. Look up when they speak. Hold the hand that reaches for yours, because I'm telling you, the clarity at the end is real. It's also late, and I wouldn't wish that kind of late on anyone.